they will in turn lend to this group 10 times of their corpus fund without any collateral. These are the free loans to this group at a very, very low, they will call it as a soft loan, very low interest loans. And this poor women will be encouraged to take these institutional financial services. That is the reason during 2010 the financial inclusion has come. The financial inclusion means bringing these women folk, bringing these rural people into the banking system. And today, the majority, around 70 to 80% of the rural people, or you can say this like this, 70 to 80% of the people are having bank accounts. And to encourage these people, they brought in zero balance savings bank account in banks. Not only in public sector banks, in private sector banks also, the zero balance concept come with the banner of financial inclusion. The financial inclusion mean to say that they want to bring under the financial system of this country. And the recovery is made when once the bank releases the fund to this group, in turn the group disperse to the members, and solidarity lending will be. Solidarity lending means they will take voluntary responsibility. One or two people will take the responsibility to recover this money and they repay to the bank. And widely these things are called as microfinance institutions. The bank will be called as microfinance institutions. In that concept only, these microfinance institutions slowly step into MSME sector. We are discussing it later on a little bit. Beyond their functioning as savings and credit, self-help groups offer poor women a platform for building solidarity. Solidarity is nothing but, already I told you, to take a leadership step to organize this group, educate this group, teach them with hygiene, teach them with family planning, teach them with self-employment, teach them with thrift and savings in the bank. That we will call it as the solidarity aspect in rural areas. Beyond their function as savings, this solidarity has took a very major role in rural people. They allow women come together and act on issues related to their own lives, including health, nutrition, governance, gender justice. Today you can aware in rural places, the people are the heads, the presidents, chairmen of many panchayats, Jilla Parishads, and local bodies. And with that experience, you can see the people migrated from there in urban, semi-urban area also. The people have become the legislators today. From this level, they have migrated to the parliament. The base for empowering women in rural area through certain measures has rendered justice to the women folk. Let us think about the goals. What are the goals of the self-help groups? I'll give some examples, small examples, what is happening here and there. See, in Villupuram in Tamil Nadu, they'll call it as BOWDA, BWDA. BOWDA means Bullock Cart Workers Development Association. This Bullock Cart Workers Development Association is a renowned self-help group. There in Villupuram, bullock cart drivers are more. Their livelihood is on bullock carts only. For funding bullock carts, no banks have come up in those days. They formed a small group, they formed a small association that will call as BWDA BOWDA in Villupuram, Tamil Nadu. In the same way, in northern part is also, women for many are there in northern part like that. By seeing all those things, the government of India formed NRLM. NRLM means National Rural Livelihood Missions. How to improve their livelihoods, how to strengthen them, how to create employment, how to encourage them to come to banking channel to promote economical activity in rural places. In that way, NRLM has been formed. Government of India issued circulars to the local bodies in the sense to the state level. State levels formed state rural livelihood missions. That is called SRLM. These SRLMS at state level, NRLMS national level had a goal to improve the livelihood of rural people. The self-help groups are seen in instrumentals for this group, including empowering women, developing leadership abilities among the poor and the needy people. Not only this, it has increased school enrollments. Generally, rural people know the small kids will never go to the school. Only very rarely some people who are affluent to send them to even to the government school, they educate their children. But whereas through these self-help groups, the enrollments improved. And the malnutritions were there, especially in South Asian countries. The malnutrition is very much abundant there, and many children are dying due to nutrition. These type of small self-help groups have been formed, which helped the people to improve their nutrition level, and they use this forum for birth control. You would have seen in rural areas. Urban is something I don't want to comment anything on urban livelihood. And if you talk about the rural people, in those days, nowadays it will be controlled. In those days, the family income is very meager. With that meager income and educating the people, feeding the family itself a great tough job. The men folk in this one could not able to manage. The women folk in rural areas forming such help groups, they have improved their financial strength and become a self-dependent on financial control, and they have formed this self-help group to help their own families. That is the reason we are calling it as self-help groups, and which in turn control the birth control. In every family, generally 4 or 5 children used to be there. Today, it has been reduced to 1 or 2. In that way, the family is growing well. They can provide education. They can improve their nutrition level. They can improve their employment level. They can improve their hygiene, knowledge, and skills in the rural folk. These self-help groups having a goal to set all these aspects.
Sir, just a minute.
Yeah.
Yesu Pillai, please stop presenting your personal screen. Yesu Pillai, please stop presenting your personal screen. Yes, sir, please continue, sir.
Yeah. And the countries like in India, self-help groups bridge a gap between high caste and low caste people and citizens. In generally rural areas, this was very much seen. But through these self-help groups, the casteism has been slowly, it has been eroded. In that way, everybody is equal, everybody is given an opportunity, and everybody has been improved with the concept of self-help groups. Now, let us go to other area in self-help group, how the other agencies have come to the rescue, have come up to helping with finance. You may be knowing NABARD. NABARD is National Bank for Rural Agriculture, Rural Development. This NABARD, National Bank for Rural Development. This is a national level institution which finances the banks. It is for purely for agriculture activity. For what may be the agriculture, farming, whatever farming, agriculture activity you name in, this NABARD gives refinance to the banks, lending in terms to the farmers and agricultural activities, which includes the self-help groups also. The self-help group bank linkage program has been brought in by NABARD. And other than the agriculture activity, one more activity you can name industrial activity. Industrial activity means small homemade things, small production oriented activity has been done by these self-help groups in rural area also. We look into little later on. That CDB, Small Industry Development Bank of India, has come into the picture along with the NABARD to extend credit help, credit based to the banks, refinance only, and it has to be repaid to NABARD and should be as per their terms. The self-help groups can borrow from banks once they have accumulated a base of their own capital Already I have made a mention here. The self-help groups, they can mobilize funds from their members, maybe weekly, maybe monthly, and the quantum will be decided by the group. This amount is called as corpus. For example, if they are mobilizing funds in a month about 10,000 rupees, they can borrow 1 lakh from the bank. The bank can lend credit facilities to self-help groups. NABARD will refinance up to 80%, 90% with a very, very, very nominal low interest to the bank, that is 1%. In turn, bank lend this to self-help group. In the same way, CDB is a refinance scheme available in CDB for industrial activity. This model has attracted very attention and a possible way of delivering microfinance. Microfinance means in a small way helping the self-help group. Need not be this microfinance only to the self-help group. It can be to any people who are doing a business or who are doing the industry activities or doing agriculture activities in a very small way. We'll call it as microfinance. We'll discuss in detail when we discuss this in MSME. And these microfinance services to poor populations that have been difficult to reach directly through banks or other institutions. You may be knowing there was a time, there were instances you would have seen and you would have heard about it, and you yourselves would have been experienced that you cannot get any loan or any financial assistance or any help from the banks unless otherwise you have been provided with a collateral security or a co-borrower or a security. A person is having sound financial strength in the community will be called for taking a security for extending loan to you. It is not that easy in those days. And that is the reason in those days, the money lenders, the private, banking, we can say just chit fund companies, private lenders like, I don't want to name as these Marwadis. This is also one sort of private money lending only. Now it has been regulated. It comes under RBI, Reserve Bank of India Regulation Act 1949. It deals with very clearly. Any agency like that or any person would like to extend financial, facilities to anybody, they have to open license. In that way, today it is not that easy to do any financial business. But in those days, it was so difficult without any security, without any asset that is as a collateral security. Collateral security means by way of immovable assets. Sometimes movable assets. Movable assets means cash, deposits, whatever it gold, whatever it may be the security you should offer to the banks. And or immovable assets like your land, building, or house property you have to give as a collateral security to the bank. But these miseries and these difficulties have been done away through the RBI scheme linking this self-help group bank linkage scheme, wherein the NABARD and the CDB is refinancing. There they don't ask any such securities. Without securities, without collateral, they can lend to self-help groups. In turn, the self-help groups can disperse to their members with the same condition terms of recovering it. A small interest, the interest rates will keep on changing as per the banking terms and conditions. The aggregating their individual savings into a single deposit. See, yet another benefit. These are two-way benefits to the bank as well as the individuals. The bank, if they want to mobilize any deposit, the bank means accepting deposits, lending that deposit to the people for the needy. That is the banking operations. Taking money from the people, giving away the money to the people for their own. That is called accepting deposits, lending loans. But whereas accepting deposit from 1,000 people, imagine what is the volume of workload on the bank people. If they encourage these things, deposits through the self-help groups, example I'm quoting here, one self-help group is having 10 to 20 members. Suppose if you are having 10 groups like that, 200 groups. These 200 groups deposits has been pooled into 10 groups. For bank, it is only one deposit, bulk deposit. Whereas the bank works on it as attending to one customer. Whereas the bank has to mobilize funds, they have to run to the places, to mobilize funds to the so many people, and the bank transaction cost and the cash transaction cost, it is very huge. In that way, they are generating attractive volume of deposits with a lesser cost. It is yet another benefit to the bank. At the same time, the group advancing to the self-help groups in a smaller way helps them to get finance from the banks without having any hassle-free loan, what I'm talking about. Through self-help groups, the bank can serve small rural depositors while paying them a market rate of interest. See, the thing what I'm talking here, the bank can lend them with the market rate. Today the market rate varies. It depends upon your bank rate. Today the bank rate is 6%. Whereas these self-help group can, bank can lend to the self-help groups with the market rate. Today market rate is something like 9.52. It is linked to your deposit rate. The today market rate is around 7.8%. With this interest rate, the self-help group can benefit from the bank. What are the advantages? Let us discuss on the advantages through the self-help group. It is an economically poor individual gains strength as part of a group. The economically poor, those cannot afford to have any such start their own economic production oriented units, or a small business, or a small activity in their own house or in their own locality. It may not be possible in those days, but today it is very much possible. Economically poor can definitely avail these benefits. Besides, financing through self-help groups, transaction costs for both the lenders and borrowers has become very low. I already told you, for mobilizing deposits, the banker has to run to the people in various places. The running cost is more. Their overhead expense is more. Whereas through self-help group, they don't have such expense as it is being reduced. Whereas for the self-help groups also, the cost has been reduced. And at the same time, the lenders have to handle only a small account instead of large number. See, for example, I told you 10 groups, 200 members. If they want to attend to 200 members or 200 borrowers from the bank, just you can imagine what is the volume of their labor and how it has to be, worked out. In rural places, it is not that easy. You cannot go to any borrower at any time. You have to go before 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. And before they are going to their farms, you have to go there and discuss. Let it be for financing, or let it for recovery, or let it for acknowledging their debts. Whatever maybe you have to go before. Suppose if the rural place is beyond 40, 50 kilometers, imagine a branch manager, how he can cover so much large group with this self-help group. If he goes to the president, one president for talking or discussion, for doing whatever, it means that he has attended around 200 people in a single stroke. In that way, it is reducing their paperwork and loss of work days, and canvassing for loans also made easy. This is yet another advantage. And the self-help groups, which have significantly empowered poor people, especially women in rural areas. In those days, in my own experience, I have seen the rural women never used to come out from their houses, never used to have an interface with any stranger who have come to the village, or if any people are censusing, whatever, no, education census or your election census, whatever it is there. If the people goes to their doorsteps, they never used to open up their mouth. And so much shy enough, they never disclose their husband's name. Such a respect they used to have on their husband. But today the scenario is changed. The women in rural area are really, they are empowered. They are really empowered. They are put into so much, in a situation where they can excel. The leadership qualities, the skill, the other way around participation in some public functions. Now people are very strong enough to rule these people as a leader in the rural people. Therefore, self-help groups have significantly empowered the poor people. Self-help groups have helped immensely in reducing the influence of informal lenders in rural areas. In those days, you may be knowing a little bit what influential or affluent fellow, if they want to lend any money, I have seen bonded laborers were there. Bonded laborers means, suppose if they are in those days, 100 rupees a great sum. I'm talking about 30, 40 years back. Any 100 rupee loan is given, this fellow who has borrowed the loan from such a, what to say, jamindars or other people, no, they have to work in their farm as a bonded labor. Today that bonded labor scheme is been totally, it has been eradicated because so many such schemes have been come up to improve the lives of rural people, and which has influenced and reduced these formal lenders in rural areas. Today, all are you in rural area. Even that rich people rural, no, and the upper caste people rural, they also at par with the poor people and the below the poverty line. They are going to the bank. They are availing all the facilities today. That is the reason we should remember the nationalization of banks during 1969. Many big corporate houses are also promoting self-help groups at many places in India. The corporate houses, in the sense you may be knowing, the social corporate responsibility, what you are talking about, social car SCR, they are also promoting to form self-help groups so that they can popularize their own, what to say, corporate business, and they can improve the lives of the people in rural area. Self-help groups, borrowers overcome the problem of lack of collateral. I already told you, without any collateral security, that is immovable, movable, whatever it may be, without any security, banks are funding these groups. Women can discuss their problem and find a solution for it very freely. And how many self-help groups are there in this country? Let us understand this. As of now, 2.2 million self-help groups in India. It is such a huge, what to say, 2.2 million means 22 lakh self-help groups. Imagine this 22 lakh self-help groups, how much the income generating activity they would have started, and how the livelihood would have been improved, and what the economy would have been improved in rural places. Today we have 330 lakh members across the country. The self-help group is playing a very vital role to improve the lives of the rural folk, especially women. So that let us conclude these self-help groups here. Let us go to the next area and let us discuss on this, what is MSME and other aspects of MSME. And in between, I would like to place here any, what to say, participant would like to ask any question. Just after this program, you can note it down, you can raise a query, you can chat also, one by one I'll try to answer it, or else our email ID will be shared to you. You can note it down and you can send a mail to me. I will respond to your mail, and at the end, I will give you my mail ID and other credentials to you. And if you don't want to raise any such queries through mail or any other mode, you can ask any queries at the end of this program. Yeah, thank you. Let us understand what is this MSME. MSME stands for micro, small, and medium enterprises. It is very simple to understand. See, micro means what? Small and medium is what? See, these three things, MSME. Enterprise means it is an activity, it is an entity. MSM, micro, small, medium. Try to understand in a very simpler way. Just I'll put in a very small way. All these classifications based on investment in plant and machinery. Plant, you know what is that? Land size or building size or the square foot. Again, it is related to the cost. And machinery or any other equipment. Okay. In that way, everything today, whatever may be the small scale industry, medium scale industry, or heavy industry, everything is based on investment in plant and machinery. Whereas in Factories Act 1948, if you want to call it as an industry or factory, the definition goes like this. Any organization or any industry employed beyond 10 people, mean to say that more than 10 people using power or equivalent to power if they are generating any production oriented aspects or productions, that is called as a factory. Yeah, very nice definition has been given in Factories Act 1948. This is having a close relations to MSME definitions also. Let us go one by one. Micro enterprises. I told you already, whether it is a micro or small or medium, it will be classified. It has been classified basing on investment in plant and machinery or equipment. Let us think about micro. Micro, the word micro says very small, micro, very, very small. There, the investment on machinery and equipment should not exceed 1 crore. Imagine this definition has come very recently. I am talking about these things, provisions are made by the government of India. Ministry of Corporate Affairs is dealing with all those things. And very recently, if I am right, during 2017, these new definitions had come. Again, I am going back. Micro enterprise, the investment in plant and machinery or equipment does not exceed 1 crore. At the same time, you are investing 1 crore. Your turnover should not exceed 5 crores in a year. In a year, the forwarding 12 months they are talking about. Suppose I am talking today, that is 2021. This 2021 year, what I am talking about, the turnover should not exceed 5 crores turnover. If it is exceeding turnover, it jumps into the next level. It will not be called as micro. Let us discuss what is small enterprise. Small, above this micro, it is small. Here in small, the investment in plant and machinery or equipment does not exceed 10 crore. Micro investment 1 crore, 10 times investment is small enterprise. And the turnover does not exceed 50 crore. Suppose if your turnover exceeds 50 crores in a year in the sense I have told you already, it is a succeeding forwarding year 2021, not this year, the next year. Before March of the next succeeding year, it should not cross 50 crores as turnover. It is interlinked. Not only turnover, your investment should not increase 10 crore, and with the 10 crore, turnover should not increase 50 crore. We'll go to the next medium enterprise. Here, the investment in plant and machinery does not exceed 50 crores. See, 5 times of small enterprise become medium enterprise. The correlation I'll tell you at the end of this discussion now. 50 crores in investments and should not exceed 150 crore. Sorry, 250 crore. Try to understand. 50 crore investment and the turnover should not exceed 250 crores. If you go beyond this, if you think beyond this, what is small scale industry? There also the classification is like this. Today, for defining a small scale industry, their investment in plant and machinery should not exceed 200 crores. See the difference of your MSME and small scale, medium scale and large scale. Here, why this MSME concept has been linked to self-help groups? Self-help groups can go only up to this level. If they are not working within this limit of micro, exceeding micro, you are jumping into small. Exceeding small enterprise, you are jumping into medium enterprise. Suppose you are exceeding extremely well, they are doing extremely well. Any self-help groups are doing extremely well here. In northern India, the self-help group started solar generating units. Do you know what the turnover? 1,200 crores. That has become a medium scale industry. In that way, in a small way, they have started, landed up in a different, this and their income level, their income generate level gone to many-fold. In that way, MSME is looking towards only these self-help groups. Beyond that, it comes industrial activity. That is the reason we are calling it as enterprises. Enterprises in the sense just started. Okay, let us go to the what are the projects under MSME one can take up. The rural people, what are the projects they can undertake? Let us discuss on this. Number one, flour mill. Flour mill, in rural areas, it is very difficult to have any flour mills. Flour mill lesson, it is not only for grinding your grains, even for what to say, peeling off the paddy, peeling off groundnuts, like that. Different machineries will be used here. These flour mills will be financed by the bank, refinanced by SIDBI. I already told you, SIDBI, Small Industry Development Bank of India. These are all government banks. Why we are calling it as a government institution? Because their stake in this, it is total, full. It is a government institution, their investment 100%. Whereas public sector banks, today, public sector banks investment is not totally 100%, it is above 51%. Public participation is also there. That is the reason we are calling it as public sector banks. Whereas these CDB, NABARDs and all having full stake by the government, 100% stake is there by the government. To add something to the, just I explained like this. The yet another activity, MSME activity, toilet soap manufacturing unit. Why only toilet soap they are manufacturing means they cannot manufacture bathing soap because that requires a lot of process and a lot of machinery is required. If this toilet soap you can prepare at your home, it is a homemade product. Toilet soap, industrial soap. See, in industries, the workers used to wash their hands. The grease, oil, whatever, they can use that industrial soap, which is manufactured by the small industry, enterprises, maybe micro, small, or other way around. In that way, this toilet soap manufacturing unit is also requires some machineries. It can be done by the self-help groups. Here all those SIDBI finance is available. Roasted rice flakes. You may be knowing that stuffed rice flakes that can be done. It is a pressing of what to say your rice after soaking, after drying it up. That can be done, packed and sold in the market. Generally, all these roasted rice flakes have been done by self-help groups, which is being supplied to the companies for labeling, packing, and branding. Tomato sauce manufacturing unit, you are using the small sachets, tomato sauce. It is being done through the self-help groups only. Banana fiber extraction and weaving. In banana fiber, you may not be knowing, in northern part, they are weaving saris in banana fibers. And this has become a huge activity in northern part where these banana plants are growing. In Kerala, they are doing it and they are exporting it also. Computer assembling, this hardware assembling is also a part of MSME activity. And whereas the software cannot come under MSME Act because it requires a lot of other around processing, other around machineries, other around licenses, and it is an industrial activity. Assembling, it is not an industrial activity, it can be done anyway. And light engineering, what do you mean by light engineering? Manufacturing of nuts, bolts, screws, small nails, washers, rivets. These are the small things without a huge investment or huge machinery can be done by this MSME activity. These are all the things has been done by self-help groups in some places. The metal-based industries, for example, agriculture implements, cutleries and hand tools, small spoons, the forks, or other the needle manufacturing, needle in the sense for knitting these gunny bags, the jute bags, and you can say that hand woven things are doing by ladies, that are all called as metal based industries that can be done under MSME. Manufacturing of paper products, paper cups, today you are using it for drinking coffee or juice or whatever. That paper products through the paper pulp, they are making it under MSME only. Curry and rice powder, you may be knowing the MTR you are seeing, MTR is not manufacturing in their own unit. It has been diversified to various decentralized way. All small units, all small ancillary units are making it and supplying to a company for branding, packing, naming, whatever may. And for all these things, you need to obtain license. Whatever it may be, MSME requires licensing. That we will discuss later on. Bakery products, you know what mean bakery product? These the bakeries and all, the confectionaries, manufacturing a small sweets, manufacturing a small way in ice creams. These are all the things can be done through MSME. Steel furniture, you know, small tables, cupboards, sofa sets, whatever it is, this can be funded under MSME. This desiccated coconut powder. What do you mean desiccated coconut powder? In northern, I mean Kerala, in some part of northeastern places, the coconuts will be dried. And this dried coconut will be shredded into small powder. And it is very sweety also. And this will be used for many dishes. And they will prepare many sweets, whatever. In that way, it is an MSME activity. Footwear. Footwear manufacturer today, now you are using a simple chappals like that. Not I'm talking even the leather manufacturing. This one comes under the MSME only. This Litkar in Andhra, in Karnataka there is what to say food manufacturing units are coming under MSME. This has been funded through SIDBI also. Refinance schemes is available from SIDBI. Like that, footwears can be manufactured. Wooden furniture manufacturing unit. Wooden furnitures, you know what are teapots or small, what to say, stands or decorative items or your showcases, whatever manner you are calling it, it can be done through MSME. Manufacturing of paper napkins. You may be wondering what is the paper napkin. For the small kids, young offspring, a newborn baby, they are using a soft paper napkin, use and throw. It neither, it is totally sterilized one. It neither harms the baby or any infections will be there. These are all the things being manufactured through MSME. Puppet manufacturing, you know very well. Household, this one, the puppets being manufactured, packed and supplied without any name also. And nowadays you can see, but today, after GST 2017, nothing will go out without registration and GST, right? Like that, the paper manufacturing also comes under the MSME. Ready-made garments, you know what is ready-made garments? Pickle unit, making pickles, manufacturing of palm plate, you know, the palm trees with that dried palm leaves, they are making plates. Notebook manufacturing, this is a very small activity, notebook manufacturing. It look like this one, it is can be done through a home activity. Dairy products, you know, milk, all the milk products, what you are seeing, you know, curd or ghee or whatever today's you are using, many this dairy product. These are all the products can be manufactured, I mean produced through MSME activities. Detergent powders and cake, that is cloth washing powders. Sanitary napkin manufacturing products, sanitary napkins, it is for all ages. I'm talking about general engineering workshop. General engineering fabricators, steel workers, sheet metal workers, these are the things can be done under MSME. Rubberized coir mattress. See the coir, this one, no, in south part and also northern east part, the coconut trees used in different way. The products of many producers can be through these coconut trees. Like that, the rubberized coir mattress mean for coir mat, the bottom will be rubberized so that it won't absorb water from the bottom. The life will be more further. Beauty parlor activities also comes under MSME. Let us understand about the exposure to micro, small and medium enterprise in India as at March 2020. The total lending exposure in India stood 64.45 lakh crores. Imagine 64.45 crores lakhs. This which includes public sector banks as well as NBFC, non-banking financial companies. Both put together, even non-banking NBFC also, they are funding to MSME activities. As on March, it is 64.45 lakh crores, of which 19 lakh crore to MSME around. Out of this 24.45 crores goes around 30% to MSME. Imagine the economic activity and how the revenue has been generated through this MSME to the tune of the lending 19 lakh. And an interesting message I would like to share here. During the last budget speech by Nirmala Sitharaman, RBI, our finance minister, said, instructed the RBI not to circulate the stressed loan accounts. What do you mean by stressed loan account? The bad loans, sticky loans of micro, small, medium enterprise, and should not declared as non-performing assets. What do you mean by non-performing asset? Non-performing assets means which is not performing, which is not yielding you anything, neither interest being repaid or the installments being repaid. That is called NPAs. To boost this MSME, to encourage this MSME, government, the finance ministry has took a decision not to, classify these MSME loans as bad loans. Even today, it has not been, exposed as a bad loans, because they are allowing some time to strengthen it. That is the support given by the government to MSME. And yet another new change what they brought in, NPA means any loan which is not been repaid for more than 90 days, it will automatically become NPA, non-performing assets. Whereas for this MSME, the government increased the bad loan period for repayment as 180 days, 6 months. MSME which has not been repaid, either interest or principal, cannot be, should not be classified as bad loans up to 6 months. I hope we have discussed enough in MSME. Let us move on to the next area, that is startups. What do you mean by startup? Just you can understand by the name itself, starting up anything is a startup. It's simple, this one, it is not linked to anything, but startup means a startup of a young company in our contest. See, we are talking about startup means an activity, maybe industrial activity or a business oriented unit, when it is being started up for the first time, when it is founded by one or more entrepreneurs to develop a unique product or service and bring it to the market which they believe there is a demand. Suppose a demand is there for any product and they want to start up a small enterprise, they can join together, they can float a small startup company, that will call it as a starting up a company, we will call it as shortly startups. By its nature, the typical startups tend to be a shoestring operation, which initial funding from founders or their friends and families. Generally, with their own money, the startup companies will be started. It will not be funded by anybody. Let us think how the eligibility criteria for startup in India. The startup must be registered as a private limited company or LLP or partnership. Let us understand what is a private limited company. Private limited company, more than one or two directors are joined together and they have formed a startup, it will call as a private limited company. LLP, limited liability partnership, mean to say the partnership firm, it is different from LLP. In partnership firm, what are all the loss incurred, it will be equally distributed among the partners. Because suppose if he is investing 1,000 rupees, the loss may be some say 1,000 rupees, it will equally distribute 4 partners into 250 rupees like that. Whereas the LLP concept, it will be linked to their investment. It is not beyond. Suppose if they are investing only 100 rupees, proportionately that loss will be apportioned. In that way, to start a startup, it should be registered either as a private company, private limited company, or LLP, or partnership firm. They cannot start as a public limited company at the beginning. I'll tell you when it will become public limited company. The startup must not be a product of restructure. Restructuring means, suppose a company started and there is a funding from the bank. It is not going well. They are restructuring the financial base of this company by the banker. Such restructuring company or renaming any company will not come as a startup. Startup means it's a fresh, it is a new, it is a newly formed by the people. The startup must not be older than 4 to 5 years. Any startup company which is crossing 4 years, it will not be called as a startup. It has to be end up with the enterprise. I'll go to that little bit later. The annual turnover of any startup must not be more than 25 crores. Try to understand here, any startup, the annual turnover, the succeeding years should not be more than 25 crores. Turnover I'm talking about. In MSME, it should not be 250 crores. This one for the small enterprise. Here, the startup comes under industrial activity. If it crosses 25 crores, it will not be called a startup. It will be called as an enterprise. The business must be involved in a new product or service. The existing product, for example, any existing product they are doing it, they cannot be converted as a startup. They have to start a new product or new service. How to start a startup company? Let us understand. In India, I'm talking about, there are 4 steps to start, as to commence a startup company in India. Number 1, you have to obtain digital signature certificate. These things are being done by the MCA portal. MCA portal means Ministry of Corporate Affairs. You have to apply for a digital signatures. The directors whom you are deciding to become the director of any LLP or private limited company or whatever manner you wanted to call it as, partnership, whatever, any manner it is possible, you have to apply for a digital signature certificate. Step number 2, that naming and all will come afterwards. First, you have to obtain digital signature. Because why it is digital signature is required? You have to furnish your photo ID, address ID, PAN card, Aadhaar card. With these, Ministry of Corporate Affairs will go in detail and they will check whether you are having existing liability anywhere, whether you own a company, what purpose you are having, interest you are having to start this, what are the other objectives of this newly proposed company. Like that, they will verify it. They will go to the global level. They will give you a certificate, say DSC. Step number 2, Director Identification Letter, DIN. What is the Director Identification Letter? The directors, the proposed directors in the company, they have to be given a distinctive identification number. With that number, that MCA can directly, they can identify such and such a person is a director of such and such a company. And 3rd step, create an account on MCA portal, that is new registration portal at mca.government.in. MCA, I told you already, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. You have to create an account. Obtain a DSC first, obtain a DIN next, and 3 is registering through MCA. Step 4, incorporate or apply for the company to be registered. You have to get a registration certificate. That is the 4th thing. Before getting a registration certificate, you cannot start any activity. You cannot start any industrial activity. Then comes the name. Once the registration is started up, you will give the name that will be verified. There should not be any name globally as well as in India. And if you have a logo, if you have any other way around symbol, it has to be registered through IPR, intellectual property. If you need be, you have to get registered. You have to get recognized by this MCA. And when it will be not be a startup, you have started a company. When it will not become a startup company, you are moving to the next stage. I already told you, if your turnover exceeds 25,000 crores, automatically you are jumping to the next basket. And if it exceeds 4 years, your startup company exceeds 4 years, then it is no longer a startup company, it will become an enterprise. Or once in a way, once in a time, the company goes for public. Suppose, at least in US, lot of opportunities available. If a raising fund, and it will not become a no longer startup company. At what point no longer a startup rule of startup, it says by Government of India, there is a rule. That rule is called as 50, 100, 500 rule. What is that 50, 100, 500 rule? See, mean to say that $50 million revenue, if you are creating a $50 million revenue and 100 or more employees, and your assets worth is more than 500 million, that is 50, 100, 500 rule, you are no longer as a startup. And what is the opposite to the startup? The opposite to startup is an enterprise. Suppose if you're having a startup has found some business model, and the product that is right for the market, in the market your product is going well, so huge sale is there, volume is there, market share is there, then it stops as a startup and gradually it enter into an enterprise level. And I hope that I have completed your what to say, self-help groups, MSME concepts, and startups. And before concluding, I would like to invite any queries. Before that queries, I would like to share a small message about this COVID-19, because every now and then you are seeing the people who are afraid, scared of COVID-19, and many people are this one fell sick, including small age, big age, and they are telling above 60 it is very vulnerable, below 10 it is more vulnerable. All these things, just what information I have gathered, what I understood, I would like to share. This coronavirus is a very small microorganism. That organisms, you never, what to say, it won't harm you anything. It is not killing us. I'm telling you very frankly, it is not killing us. Instead, we are getting killed by fear. Once if we get cold, once we get cough, once we get body become feverish or chill, no, immediately you are relating this to we are I got corona. It need not be. Corona is totally different. Don't concentrate more on media messages. If you see any news channel, one message will be repeated n number of times. They will create such a headache and fear in us. Don't concentrate more on that. And take vitamins like B12, B6, and D more to boost your immunity, and keep hygienic this one situation. Take hygienic food and sleep well. See, this common cold and the microorganism will come. No need to have panic. Go outside when it is very much essential, and use mask, sanitize, and maintain social distance in public places. Follow the protocol by the authorities what they are given. No need to what to scared off or getting any fear on this. It is a normal fever, cold and cough. Take precautions, and homely remedy is always better. They are telling many kashayams, you know better than us, better than me. If not, subsidize the cold cough. Contact helpline 104 immediately, or seek doctor's advice. And don't get panic and take courage. We can try out corona totally. It is not that difficult task. You can remove from the root level itself. Corona is, as I told already, is a small microorganism. We need not worry about that. But take precautions as much. There is a saying, harsha in the heart. Harsha means happiness, boldness, okay, joy. And that is the best medicine to us. Harsha is the best medicine in Kannada, they will tell. In that way, you don't need to get worried about this. Sarvo Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. With this, I'll conclude. I sincerely thank you all for joined with us today. At the same time, I am thanking our management, East West College of Management, as well as East West Group of Institutions, for providing us an opportunity to talk to you more likely an hour or so, and sharing my thoughts, sharing my what is the understanding about self-help groups, MSME, and startups. And I sincerely thank my colleagues, HODs, and all my friends and well-wishers and the participants from different nook and corner. I can see their messages here. Many people have registered for this program. I sincerely thank you very much for your participation. Let us join again for another program. And in case if any academic people or any other institutional heads want to organize any particular specific program, we are ready enough to organize such program. You can note down email ID. I would like to share my email ID here. My email ID dr doctor dot r c h a n d r a m o o r t h y at gmail.com. Doctor dot r chandramurthy at gmail.com. Or one more email ID, director ewcm at gmail.com. My mobile number 9740191676. I'll repeat 9740191676. And I sincerely thank the department and my faculty members for helping out a technical this one for organizing this program. Very nice of you, my dear guys. Thank you. And any questions, I would like to answer your queries, please.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful session. We got a lot of insights about self-help groups, MSMEs, and startups. Participants can ask questions. Sir is all open ears. Sir, there was one question from Dr. Hegde. Madam wanted to know the modalities and statutory requirements to form self-help groups.
Yeah, very nice question. Thank you, Sukanya Hegde madam. See, it is an informal voluntary group. Those people who are interested to form self-help group, they can join together. They have a small meeting. They can note down what our discussions happened in this meeting, and they can nominate a president, a secretary, a treasurer, and other executive committee members. And self-help groups need not be get registered. It can be registered also. It need not, generally it need not be. They can form it, and one fine day they can report it to their local body in the sense the mandal panchayat or the rural village panchayat level as they have formed it. Then they will take it, they will give one small acknowledgement for having recognized their group. With that, they can start their activities. And with that, they can go to the bank, they can give a small letter, and through their letter in the sense, they can make a small letter without spending much. They can request the banker for extending financial assistance. Before financial assistance request, they have to pool amount, corpus they have to make. That has to be decided by these people in their own group. Say, for example, for member 100 rupees per monthly. Okay, how many members are there? 20. Or this member want to put 500 per month. Then pull it off. Go to the bank, open an account. The bank people never ask for opening any account. I mean details for opening this. These are all called as financial inclusion accounts. Jan Dhan accounts we will call it as. They will ask, zero, they will open an account with a zero balance, they can start up. Once 1 lakh transaction is crossed in that account automatically convert into normal savings bank account, and it is eligible for all sort of financial benefits from the government, say so to say from NABARD or to CDB. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Students, participants, anybody who would like to ask a question can ask a question.
Hello, sir. This is Vinay here. I have a question.
Please, Vinay.
Yeah. So we spoke about the industries that come under MSME, but what is the role of this pollution control board?
See, Pollution Control Board comes once if it is become a small scale industry. Okay. The
Okay.
Companies Act 2013, the latest amended act says very clearly, if your investment in plant and machinery crosses 200 crores, you have to get registered under SSI. Okay. Once you are going for a registration, they will ask a lot of what to say documents, whether pollution control is there, or commercial activity license is there, or you are having your own building, or you are having any what to say agreements, such and certain document they will insist upon. For a small MSME, if it is really causing any pollution, you have to what to say approach the pollution control board, PCBs. But generally, this MSME don't come under that. If it is objected by the people, or really it is causing concern to the public, you need to obtain PCB license.
Okay. So adding to this question,
Yeah,
to start a MSME, a
yeah.
region has to be notified by a state government, or is there any restriction to do it in the residential areas, or how do we identify the
Yeah,
space actually?
yeah, I got your question. There is no any such a specific zones has been earmarked for MSME activities, whereas export oriented units, EOUs, or SEZ, uh, economic zone, economic zones are there. That zones are meant only for certain activity in local body, that is in local areas, that special economic zone, SEZ, or export oriented units is not there. Other than this area, anywhere MSME activities can be conducted. But before conducting any MSME, you have to apply for a license, a trade license or a business license. Even for opening a small shop, you have to apply for the municipal authorities for giving a license. In that way, a license is must for MSME activities. Yes, Vinay, I have answered the query, I believe.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else would like to ask any question? Yeah, please welcome. Okay. Um, I think all the questions, queries have been answered, sir.
Yeah, madam.
Okay. All the participants, this is to inform you, we'll be sending you a feedback form to your registered mail IDs, and you can respond back to the feedback form, and e-certificates will be arranged eventually once you fill up the feedback forms. So can we wind up for the day, sir?
Yeah, if nothing is there, no queries or anything is required, we can sign off.
Okay.
Thank you very much for everyone for participated here, and raise the queries, and we'll keep in touch with you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful session. I would also like to thank all the participants for your participation and support. And we expect the same support in our upcoming future webinars also. So we can all wind up for the day. We will log off. Thank you.
Share the recording.
Yes, madam. We will do the needful. We will look into the same and we will do the needful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
sir.
madam.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. All participants can leave the room. We will send the feedback forms to your mail IDs. Chaitra ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am, can we log off? And I have recorded the session.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So shall I log out?
Yes, ma'am. Feedback form is ready. I'll just circulate the same for the participants.
And a few participants, they were requesting, like, they have not registered. They are not registered, and they have been sending their mail IDs.
Okay, let them send the mail IDs, those who have attended, so that we can send personally.
Okay, okay, ma'am. I'll make a note of those mail IDs and I'll send it to you.
Yes, ma'am. Fine, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. And thank you to all the participants. You can all log out.
ಮೂರು ಜನ ಇದ್ರು.
Okay, Chaitra ma'am, I'm logging out.
Yes, ma'am. You can log in out.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Bye, ma'am. Bye, all
Fine, ma'am.
participants.
ಅಮ್ಮ ಗೀತಮ್ಮ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. ಚಾರ್ಜರು ಹಾಕೋದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಐತೆ.
Dear, we request all of you to leave the meeting, please. Requesting all the participants to please leave the meeting. Participants are requested to please leave the meeting. Request all the participants to leave the meeting, please.
ಯಾಕಮ್ಮ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ ಆನೆ
Feedback link will be sent to your respective mail IDs, and we have made a note on the email IDs which has not been registered. Will definitely send. I request all of you to leave the meeting, please. This is better, Supriya ma'am, rather than asking them. At last, ma'am, your unmute, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Yes, ma'am.
Successfully done with record.
Yes. So ಇವಾಗ ನಾವಿಬ್ರು as far as I know, if we both are logging out, it should
Yeah. One more
and
just now joined.
how to stop these people joining ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವೇ ಸೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ end
Stop
call ಅಂತ
meeting. End call, you do like that, ma'am. End call or stop